Foodie gang, 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 gang. Foodie gang, 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 gang. Foodie gang, 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 gang.
Foodie gang, gang, gang.
Food gang, gang, gang.
Foodie gang, 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 gang. Foodie gang, 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 gang. Foodie gang, 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 gang.
Foodie gang, gang, gang.
Food gang gang gang.
Foodie gang, gang, gang.
Food gang gang gang. Food gang gang gang.
Foodie gang, what is going on? What's going on, Foodie gang? You're tuned in to Kitchen Talk with Chef Big Bank, Season 2, Episode 46. So we are just chugging along. Hit the like button and share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel. To support this channel and keep the stove going, you can hit the Cash App at money sign Chef Big Bank. Join my group on Facebook. Chef Big Bank Foodie Gang fan page. Follow me on all my social media platforms. Listen down below. Get your Foodie Gang merch and hit the like button. All right, foodie gang. So happy Monday. It is the beginning of the week. How is everyone doing so far? Yesterday, we talked about hurricane food prep in preparation of hurricane season. Great live show. Check it out. Episode 45. We had Trey Ferg in the building, and we had Dr. Frizzle. So go back and watch that one. Make sure that you get your prep in time for hurricane season. So how's everyone doing today? I worked out today and I had oatmeal. Okay, so the other day we were talking about fitness and food, and I had a fitness trainer come talk to us, foodie gang. And it was a great interview. You guys are gonna want to make sure you check out that one as well. So that interview really, it was what I needed to hear. Um, it really, taught me a lot and I learned a lot. And so I'm gonna post that link in the chat so that you guys can go watch that interview about fitness and food. Because we can eat whatever we want, right? We can eat whatever we want theoretically. But if we are not working out properly and not disciplined enough, it's not about motivation, it's about discipline, then we are going to be very large people. So we want to make sure that we are working out in the right manner. So watch that interview. A lot of great information, and if I tell it to y'all about the food, I can talk to y'all about the food, but about the fitness, that is a portion that I have myself been struggling on. I have lost like 40, 50 pounds, but it has been a struggle to maintain and to not gain that weight back. So anytime I see a personal trainer or fitness trainer, I am glad that we were able to get the boss man up here on 907 Giddy to talk to us. So this is the interview, Fitness and Food. There is a link. Check it out. And let me shout out the Hassan Tahir show. Coming through the door first, he said 907 Goodies, how you been? I've been good today. I woke up pretty early today. But I had to clean my house. I had to do my hair. Y'all know I have dreads. So what I did was I think these are called Bantu knots. So I took my dreads and I rolled them into all these little balls. And then when I take them out, it'll be curled. But this is a great style if you have dreads. It helps. Um, how do I say it? It helps speed up the process. If you are starting your dread journey, this is what has been recommended to me. So I was up early today. I worked out, twisted my hair, and did some chores around the house. And so I put this live stream together last minute. The content was already in the bank. But I put it together last minute, so thank you so much, Hassan, for sliding through. And he said, hit the like button and subscribe on your way in. I cannot tell y'all, foodie gang, how important the like button is and the subscribe button so that you can get notified when I do go live. So, we are going to be talking about how canned seafood is made. In yesterday's live stream, when we talked about hurricane food prep, I gave you guys the ultimate. Let me make sure I go back and read the name so that I can make sure that I'm getting it correct. So yesterday's live stream, we talked about canned foods, we talked about canned goods, canned meat, and so today I thought it would be good to go over what canned seafood is. So we went over the ultimate hurricane food prep guide yesterday, and we talked about canned products. But now we're going to take a deep dive and really break that down. Thank you so much for Randy for sliding through. She said, "Hello, I'm here and on the road. Will drive safe, Randy. I know it's been raining a lot in your area, so we want you to be safe. You don't got to be typing in the chat. We know you here. Thank you so much." Randy said, "Keep the stove on, hit the cash out, money sign, chef big. Thank you. Yes, very important." Randy said, "There's a lot of salt in canned goods." Okay, see, that's why I do these live streams so that we can become educated and become aware of what is going on with the food. Y'all, everything else is important as well, but one thing that we never really talk about is the food. Is the food. Randy said your hair looks cute. Thank you. So I twisted it up while I was watching BMF. Y'all, I don't really watch TV too much because I don't have time. But this weekend, yeah, the previous weekend that just passed, I was not feeling well. So I started watching TV. Because I didn't even feel like editing. I didn't even feel like going live. I just wasn't feeling good. So I've been watching BMF and it is good, y'all. And as well as YouTube. YouTube is I'm very passionate about YouTube and I like to watch all different type of content. Um I don't like to watch the same thing. So I watch a lot of different content creators and I really like YouTube and where it's going. Thank you so much, Randy. But okay, so Randy says there is a lot of salt in canned goods. So we're gonna get into it. And when we had the boss man up here and we talked about fitness and food, he talked about how we need to balance our sodium. Too little sodium is not good, and too much of sodium can also be harmful to the body. So what he was saying was that we need to maintain a proper balance. So we're gonna get into it, foodie, and we're gonna get into it. But yes, I had some oatmeal today. Excuse me. Y'all know I had to have my coffee. Y'all know I had to have my coffee. Oatmeal and then Greek yogurt. And so yesterday, y'all, remember I was telling y'all that I had that food in the crock pot? When I got done live streaming, we did 3 hours yesterday. When I got done live streaming and I was smelling that chicken in the crock pot, but when I got done, I made some mashed potatoes and I put the mashed potatoes down first and I put the Old Bay chicken on top. And y'all, it was so good. And you know what? Don't worry, foodie gang. I got y'all covered. I made a video and I wrote down the recipe a long time ago because let me tell y'all, that's how good this chicken is. Now, I'm gonna look it up, but it was so delicious and it was so good. And it was like it was raining yesterday, so it was perfect for like a rainy day. Like a cold day, you just put on. Then another thing about the crock pot foodie gang, if you don't got a crock pot, I recommend that you definitely invest in a crock pot because when you are busy and you're having a busy day, you can throw all the food in the crock pot, come home, and it'll be ready to go. But yes, y'all, I got off that live stream and I'm telling y'all, I was so hungry. I'm surprised y'all didn't hear my stomach growling. I was so hungry. I made some mashed potatoes. I put the Old Bay chicken on top of the mashed potatoes. And then I poured some of the juice on top. It was so good that got to share this recipe with you guys. And so give me a moment, but while I'm getting that ready, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, y'all ready? This is the recipe right here, and I also included a video. Let me just adjust this. I'm telling y'all, you can do everything you want to do before you go live, and then when you hit the button, everything fall apart. Okay, so there is the recipe and the video on how to make the chicken, and the recipe is included. I ate this chicken yesterday. I made some mashed potatoes to go with it, and I poured the juice on top. And let me tell y'all, it was so good. Normally, when I make this recipe, I make jasmine rice, or you can make white rice. Any type of rice that you prefer, you can make it with this recipe. But I feel like I've been eating rice a lot. So I was like, man, let me try it with some mashed potatoes and let me see how it tastes. Y'all, it was delicious. Oh, I'm gonna have that for dinner. I have my oatmeal for breakfast, and then I might have a snack or two. But I'm trying to eat less. I worked out today. I worked out the day before that, so it's a work in progress, y'all. But thank you to all the foodie gang that is here and watching from the clouds. Let me get into the disclaimer so that we can get into the show. And I promise y'all, I'm gonna stop talking. See, when I talk about food, I get to going. I get to going, and I'll be carried away, and I'll just sitting here talking about food. But yes, there is an Old Bay chicken recipe. You can make it in a crock pot or an Instapot. Or you can even make it on the stove. But I used to make it in this pot, but I don't have one anymore. I'm making it in a crock pot. The good thing about the crock pot is that you don't have to watch it and it doesn't burn. If you do make it on the stove, you will have to watch it. Okay, here's a disclaimer, foodie gang. Welcome to 907 Good Eats. Kitchen Talk with Chef Big Bank. Please note that the information provided on our channel, including commentary and discussions, is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Comments and opinions expressed are those of the individuals and not those of 907 Goodies. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we cannot guarantee its completeness, reliability, or accuracy. The use of the information provided on this channel is strictly at your own risk. We do not claim ownership of any third party content featured on our channel. All third party content is the intellectual property of the respective owners, and we respect their rights. Viewer discretion is advised for all content. So there you have it, foodie game. We got the disclaimer out of the way. I showed you guys the Facebook group yesterday. Today is going to be the last day for the Foodie Gang first annual grill off. So make sure that you submit your entries to the group of grilled food. We are just going to hop right into the content. And I okay, so Randy said that there is a lot of salt in canned goods. So keep that in mind. The first video I'm going to play for you guys, Foodie Gang, is going to be about canned salmon. Now, yesterday we were talking about hurricane prep and how you need a hurricane food prep and how canned goods are a good way to prepare for a hurricane, natural disaster, or you never know what's going to go down. So, in that case, if you are doing hurricane prep and you have to eat canned goods, I think it's okay even with the salt, but keep that in mind when you're adding more seasonings to your canned goods and you're cooking them. They already have a lot of salt in them, so you don't need to add a ton of salt. So keep that in mind, foodie gang, when you are making and cooking with canned goods. So the first video is going to talk about salmon, canned salmon.
and a host of vitamins and minerals. These nutrients are key to maintaining a healthy body, especially in survival scenarios where fresh food may be scarce. What sets canned salmon apart is its remarkably long shelf life. This fish can stay fresh for up to 5 years, and sometimes even longer if stored properly. That's half a decade of guaranteed sustenance sitting on your shelf, ready to be used at a moment's notice. And let's not forget about canned salmon's versatility. It can be used in a variety of dishes, from a simple salmon salad to more complex recipes like salmon patties or salmon pasta.
So, well, there you have it. This video is stating that canned salmon is actually really good for you. And like I said, when you are eating canned products, they are going to have salt in them naturally, or salt that's been added to help with the preservation period. So when you're cooking them, you just want to be mindful of that. Let me show y'all this. Okay, so I got my daughter these lip chaps, and they're all like soda. So this is a Mountain Dew chapstick, and let's bring to the next point. It was playtime. When I make kids content, we did a smell test with or a blind. I think it's called a blind smell test, where like so there's all different types of these chapsticks that we got. It came in a pack, and so there's like Pepsi ones. There's the orange Mountain Dew and like a couple of other sodas, and we did a blind smell test. I am editing that video, but so make sure that you go and subscribe. It was playtime for children. Back to the video. Y'all know when I started talking about kids and food, I get carried away. Okay, so he is stating that canned salmon is good for you and can last up to 5 years. So it's a it also has the omega-3, I believe is what it's called. And then he also stated a couple of recipes towards the end. And let me tell y'all, my auntie, when I was in North Carolina, she made salmon patties from canned salmon, and they were delicious. They were delicious. So I'm gonna have to, make the salmon patties. They were bomb. Let's play that again and see if there's any information that we missed.
Talk about why canned salmon is a must-have for your survival pantry. This humble can is packed to the brim with nutritional value. It's a stellar source of high-quality protein, essential omega-3 fatty acids, and a host of vitamins and minerals. These nutrients are key to maintaining a healthy body, especially in survival scenarios where fresh food may be scarce. What sets canned salmon apart is its remarkably long shelf life. This fish can stay fresh for up to 5 years, and sometimes even longer if stored properly. That's half a decade of guaranteed sustenance sitting on your shelf, ready to be used at a moment's notice. And let's not forget about canned salmon's versatility. It can be used in a variety of dishes, from a simple salmon salad to more complex recipes like salmon patties or salmon pasta.
One good point that he brought up, which is what I touched on yesterday, is that canned salmon is good for survival needs. And that's what I was talking about in yesterday's live stream about hurricane food prep. That canned goods are great to have in case of an emergency because this can last for a long time. I have had a salad that had canned salmon on it before, and it was pretty good. And like I said, it is going to be salty. It is salty. So you don't want to add a ton of salt on top of that. Hey Angela, how are you doing? She said, hello everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, so this was yesterday's live stream where we talked about the ultimate food prep guide. And in that, we stated that canned goods are great to be eating or great to have. And always a great investment because, like he said, this canned salmon can last for years. It can last for years. Okay, so there we go. Those um are some of the benefits to eating salmon. He said it's good to have in your survival pantry, which is very important because, you know what's going on with the hurricanes. Hurricane season is approaching, so this is a good one to have in your pantry, and has the essential omega-3 fatty acids, even though it's not fresh. So, when they do can salmon, this video is a legend that it's the same as eating fresh salmon. I have another video about canned salmon, so let's go ahead and get into that, foodie gang.
Pink. Now, often you have your... Okay, so what's the story with canned salmon? A lot of people love canned salmon. First of all, you should know it's as nutritious as fresh salmon, no difference. It's a taste.
So there you have it. She stated that canned salmon is as nutritious as fresh salmon. So I know sometimes we think that, like, if it's not fresh, we looking down upon it. But she's saying that it is the same. It is the same. It's very similar. Hold on, food gang. Type this in. Okay, so if you have canned salmon in your pantry, use it. If you don't have some, then go ahead and get some. Because it's good for you. Angela said, "Yes, I have a pantry of canned goods, about 4 to 6 months worth." Wow, that is amazing. And let me tell y'all, foodie gang, after yesterday's live stream, and today we're going over canned goods again today. I normally do have a lot of canned goods, but I've been eating them and they've kind of gotten low. So I do need to restock my canned foods. I still have a lot, but when I was growing up, one thing I would say is that we always had canned goods. We always did because, um, I have 4 siblings, so we're a family of 6. So if you're feeding a big family, canned goods are good to invest in. So yes, Angela is stocked up, Angela. Well, that's great. Do you cook a lot, Angela? I cook a lot. But what I like to do when I do cook, I'll make a lot of food and then I'll put it in meal prep containers and I'll eat it for the rest of the week. Because when I cook, I make a lot on purpose so that I can have leftovers, so that I don't have to cook every day, but it just looks like I am. And hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can support the channel and keep the stove on at money sign Chef Big Bank. Let's get back into the video and let's see what else she has to say about canned salmon. And today in this live stream, we are gonna go over canned oysters, sardines, and tuna. So there are a couple of different canned seafoods. So we're gonna go over just a couple of them because there's a lot, and I didn't realize how many there were until today. Angela said, "Yes, leftovers are a blessing." I agree. Have you guys ever met those people who say that they don't eat leftovers? I'm like, well, you a little bit too bougie for Chef Big Bang. Because I cook a lot on purpose, so I can have leftovers. And if you don't eat leftovers, are you cooking every day? And then when people say that they don't eat leftovers and then they want to go out to McDonald's or Wendy's and they want to eat fast food, if you're going to do that, you might as well meal prep. You might as well eat leftovers. But y'all, you can't tell people nothing these days. I agree with Angela. Leftovers are a blessing, especially when you have a kid or if you're working, or if you're like me and you're be on the go sometimes. I don't have time to be cooking all day long. I don't. So I rely on my leftovers so that I can make sure that I'm not eating out. I'm eating a good meal, a good balanced meal.
Preference more than anything else. But when you go shopping, you can find the red sockeye salmon or the pink. Now, often you have your preferences, but just to give you a little insight, the red salmon tends to be firmer, richer, and fattier tasting, and it's a good fat, the omega-3 fatty acids. The pink tends to be milder and softer. Now, calorie-wise, these ones are pretty much the same, but often red salmon tends to be slightly higher in calories, has more omega-3 fatty acids than the pink. In terms of protein, even a little more protein. So up to you what you like in terms of eating and taste. These both have got the bones and skin removed because a lot of people don't like to see the bones, but the bones are filled with calcium. So if you do buy those with the bones, it's a better, it's an added bonus. So your choice, both very healthy salmons to buy.
So that was a really great video, and she brought up a good point about bones because I know that that is a complaint. So I do have another video that is going to explain the bones in great detail. But let's just go over what she discussed in this video. She said canned salmon is just as good as fresh salmon. Also, canned salmon can last for a really long time, up more than 5 years in some cases. And she also went over the type of canned salmon because, with any product in the store, sometimes they have a bunch of different varieties. So I'm gonna play this video one more time to see if we missed anything.
Okay, so what's the story with canned salmon? A lot of people love canned salmon. First of all, you should know it's as nutritious as fresh salmon, no difference. It's a taste preference more than anything else. But when you go shopping, you can find the red sockeye salmon or the pink. Now, often you have your preferences, but just to give you a little insight, the red salmon tends to be firmer, richer, and fattier tasting, and it's a good fat, the omega-3 fatty acids. The pink tends to be milder and softer. Now, calorie-wise, these ones are pretty much the same, but often red salmon tends to be slightly higher in calories, has more omega-3 fatty acids than the pink. In terms of protein, even a little more protein. So up to you what you like in terms of eating and taste. These both have got the bones and skin removed because a lot of people don't like to see the bones, but the bones are filled with calcium. So if you do buy those with the bones, it's a better, it's an added bonus. So
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I do not think I am eating fish bones. Now, in reference to her comment or in response to her comment, when I worked in the kitchen at Portland State University, one of the gentlemen that I worked with was I don't think I'm gonna say it right. He was Vietnamese. He was from Vietnam. And he was telling me that his people in his culture, they eat the eyeballs of the fish because they're full of calcium. Now, am I eating eyeballs? No. But I like to hear everything about food. And I realize that we are all from different cultures. We have different traditions, ways of life, and that's okay. So I thought it was interesting that she stated that the bones are full of calcium. So if you want calcium, you can eat fish bones and fish eyeballs. I'm not doing that. I'll be calcium deficient. I'm not eating no eyeballs. I'll do a fish bone. Like I'm not okay. Now foodie gang. Would you eat a fish eyeball or a fish bone? Which one would you pick? If I had to pick, I'm eating the fish bone. I don't even like. Okay, so there was this picture I shared on Facebook. Y'all gotta follow me on Facebook, where it was a whole fish with the head on it, the fins on it, everything. And I think it was grilled. I believe it was grilled. And the question was smash or pass. And I said, I'm passing just because of the eyeballs. I don't, that stuff really, really scares me. And, but if you had to pick, are you doing fish eyeballs or fish bones? You can only pick one. Ooh, Angela Reddick said salmon and cream cheese spread and pate is very good. I agree with that. Okay, so you guys know I live in Alaska, foodie gang. So salmon, halibut, cod, and seafood is very popular here. My uncle, he made this salmon dip and it was so good. And then we had wheat thins to go with it. I don't know how he made that salmon dip, but there was definitely cream cheese in there. That salmon dip was so good. And then when I lived in Oregon, I went to the Oregon coast. Seafood is really popular in Oregon as well because they have the Oregon coast. So I went to the coast, right? And there was this little like it was like a little shack pretty much. It's like you walk up to it and you order. And I had heard great things about it. It had good reviews. So I went there and I got some seafood and I got some smoked salmon from Oregon on the Oregon coast. It was delicious. It was smoked salmon. And so it was like this little seafood stand that you walk up to. It was in Lincoln City. And it was really good. I believe it was in Lincoln City. It was really good. Angela said she going with the bones. Look, Angela, I agree. I don't even know how much they're gonna have to pay me to eat a fish eyeball, cause look, put a meal on the table. I'm like, I can't imagine eating an eyeball. But he was I cannot say it right, but he was from Vietnam and he was saying that they eat fish eyes, they eat pig ears, but he said the fish eyes are full of calcium.
Your choice, both very healthy salmons to buy.
And look, she is a very thin woman, so she must have been eating like this, and it looks like it's been working out for her, Foodie Gang. It looks like it's been working out for her. So canned salmon, I like I said, I gotta restock my canned goods and get them all up to date. But when I do go to the store, I am definitely going to get some canned salmon. And I have tuna in the cabinet already that I haven't made. I probably will make my tuna just because I talked about it today. Or I'm about to be talking about it. All right. Okay, so this video is going to segue into our next video where she was talking about the bones, but I'm looking at my videos and I think that that is a video that I was not able to get. Okay, so let me paraphrase the video because I did watch it. There are a lot of bones in canned seafood just because the fish are so small. It would be really hard to pick all the bones out. And that's why she mentioned it in the video, is because that is a complaint with canned fish, is that there are a lot of bones. And so this particular brand that she was eating had all the bones and all the skin picked out. But some brands do not offer that option, and the bones will be in the tin fish or in the canned fish because the fish are so small. What I recommend to you, Foodie Gang, is to just read the label really, really closely. Read the label closely. But I feel like because the fish is so small, maybe so are the bones. and so they don't have to worry about it. So we're gonna take her out of there. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay. So we have talked about salmon. Now we're gonna hop over into the sea and talk about tuna. Well, we already in the sea, but we're gonna hop to a different part and talk about tuna. Tuna fish. Um, do y'all like tuna? I like tuna. I think tuna is good, especially with the rich crackers. Ooh, and then when you put the tuna on the sandwich. Okay, so let me tell y'all a little story. When I used to work the grill, when I would do a tuna melt, it would be so popular because people like the tuna melt. So what you do is, well, what I would do, I would actually put the tuna on the flat top and heat the tuna up. You put the cheese on top, and then you also at the same time you run your bread on the butter wheel. So when you work in the kitchen, they have this little butter wheel. It's like you put butter in the bottom, and it has like it's elevated from the flat top so that the butter will not burn. And then it has like this little roller on top. So you roll your bread on there, you throw your bread on the flat top, right? While that's on the flat top, you get your tuna, put it on the flat top, heat it up. I would always do cheddar cheese, but you can customize whatever cheese you want. And then you put the cheese on the tuna, scoop the tuna up with my two spatulas, put it on the toast, right? You bring it over to your cutting board, and then they would pick out their lettuce and tomatoes. But yes, y'all, that was a tuna melt, and it was a popular seller. And the reason why I brought the tuna melt up is because we talking about tuna. But yes, tuna is really good. So let me get this pulled up and go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel while we wait. All right, here we go.
The fishing vessel. The crew immediately begins the critical process of handling the fish to maintain its freshness and quality. This involves bleeding the tuna to remove the blood and gutting it to remove the internal organs. In some cases, tuna is pre-cooked on board the fishing vessel to preserve its freshness until it reaches the cannery. Pre-cooking is achieved through quick steaming, which partially cooks the fish and helps retain its natural flavor and texture. To maintain the tuna's freshness, it is quickly chilled or frozen after onboard handling. Chilling involves storing the fish at low temperatures, while freezing entails subjecting the fish to sub-zero temperatures. Chilled or frozen tuna is then transported to the cannery to undergo further processing. Once at the cannery, the tuna undergoes thorough quality checks to ensure it meets the required standards for processing. This includes assessing its freshness, size, and overall quality. If the tuna was frozen during transport, it is first thawed before further processing. The thawed tuna is then deboned, removing.
Okay, can y'all hear it all right so far, foodie gang? And yes, when you work in a butcher or anywhere that has to debone um any type of meat or seafood, this is kind of how it looks. And it's looking kind of crazy right now, y'all. But yes, tuna is very popular, inexpensive, and a great source of protein. And canned seafood is good to have for survival. And also, canned products are a good bargain. And you could buy them and cook them a year later, they'll still be good.
Any remaining bones to produce boneless tuna fillets or chunks. The deboned tuna is cooked to ensure food safety and prolong shelf life. This is done by loading the tuna into metal racks, which are wheeled into large steam pressure cooking chambers called retorts. Tuna is baked for a prescribed time and temperature, depending on the size of the fish. This steam baking removes excess oils, and the high pressure and temperature effectively sterilize the fish and eliminate harmful bacteria. The cooked tuna is carefully examined, and any damaged or inferior pieces are discarded. The selected tuna is then categorized based on the desired canned tuna product, such as solid white tuna, chunk light tuna, or other varieties. The selected tuna is now ready for canning. Cans are filled with the cooked tuna along with the chosen medium, typically brine, a water and salt solution, or oil. The amount of tuna and the type of medium are regulated to achieve specific.
And this goes back to what Randy was saying is how there's a lot of salt in canned products. There is salt already put into it just because of the preservation period. So with that being said, Food Gang, when you're making these products, you don't need to add a ton of salt, if any. And we had Boss Man here the other day, a fitness trainer. Right now, he is currently living in Kuwait, but he talked about salt and the importance of not having too little and not having too much salt. Angela said, I love tuna casserole made with cheddar cheese. However, I have been vegan for the last 2 years. Wow, that is very interesting. And I have had tuna casserole also, and tuna casserole is good. I've had tuna like when I was growing up, we ate tuna a lot. We would eat it with the Ritz crackers or we would put it on a sandwich. And Angela, what made you want to become a vegan 2 years ago? One thing I would say, or one thing I learned, they taught us when I was in culinary school, they would always say this. They would say every 10 years, your taste buds change. So there could be foods that you didn't like as a kid that you now like as an adult. Like for me, when I was younger, I did not like grits. I had a strong dislike for grits. And now that I'm older, I like grits. Back when I was younger, I would never eat mushrooms. I didn't like them. Now I love mushrooms. So yes, allegedly, every 10 years your taste buds change. So they are adding, a little bit of salt, a little bit of the brine just for the preservation period. And, but tuna is something that I feel tuna is always in my pantry, like no matter what. But let's get back into the video.
Product characteristics. The cans are sealed tightly to prevent air from entering and to maintain product freshness. The sealing process involves securely attaching a metal lid or top to the can, ensuring it remains airtight. The sealed cans undergo a process of heat sterilization to destroy any remaining bacteria, enzymes, or microorganisms. This step is vital for ensuring the canned tuna's safety and extending its shelf life. After sterilization, the cans are rapidly cooled to a safe temperature. This helps retain the tuna's quality and prevents any further cooking that could affect the product's texture and taste. Once cooled, the cans are labeled with essential information such as the product's name, expiration date, nutritional content, and branding. The cans are then carefully packed into cartons or boxes for shipping and distribution. Throughout the entire production process, strict quality control measures are in place to ensure that the canned tuna meets industry standards and regulatory requirements. Samples are regularly taken for testing and analysis to verify the product's safety and quality. The packaged and labeled canned tuna is now ready for distribution to retail stores and other markets. The product is shipped in controlled conditions to maintain its quality and freshness. Canned tuna once held the title of America's most popular seafood.
One thing I will say, Foodie Gang, is kind of weird. It was like the narrator didn't have an accent. You can tell he was maybe from America. But then the tuna that they were putting on there wasn't in English. So they must have been somewhere overseas producing that tuna, is what I was gonna say. Is what I was gonna say. Angela said, I went vegan to improve my health. I have sacroidosis. And going vegan lowered my inflammation on my lab work, so I do feel better. Angela, that is the great thing about food is that food has a lot of healing properties. And I was in my group on Facebook, one of the members has MS, and she was also telling me that certain foods make her feel better. And I think it's interesting and it's fascinating, and it's also great that you can eat a certain thing and it can help you with whatever you have going on. And so I'm glad that you were able to improve your health and that you feel better. Because we all want to make sure that, like, whatever we're eating is making us feel good and not bad. So, I'm glad that you made that change to go vegan. Um, I know for a lot of people, they don't see food as healing, but it does have great healing properties. And I think it's interesting that, someone that has MS eating a certain food and they state that it makes them feel better. Like the member of my group was telling me that she eats spicy foods and it kind of helps with her MS. And so I think it is also refreshing for us to discover what is best for our diet. That's a big piece too, is knowing what to eat and how to eat. And thank you so much, Angela, for sharing that with us. We really appreciate that.
According to data collected by experts, tuna held that title for 50 years, 1950 to 2000. During that half century, more than 85% of American households had tuna fish stocked away in their pantry. Though its popularity has not lasted into this century, the market is still expected to grow, with revenues rising from 8.57 billion USD to 11.89 billion USD between 2020 to 2027.
Now, there you have it. So, canned tuna, like the video said, is most likely in everyone's pantry. And this is how much the industry is expected to grow. So not only is it good for you, but it's also helping, create jobs, help the economy. But one thing I'm a little bit worried about Foodie Gang is that, when things get popular, they get crazy as well. And so we will keep an eye on that and see how it goes. Oh, okay, so I covered this topic before. Y'all remember when they were saying Subway had fake tuna and how Subway's tuna wasn't real tuna? Y'all, I'm telling y'all, these people out here, they be trying to sue everybody for everything. Okay, so Subway, or there was like I think it was a news company, they investigated and they sent the tuna to the lab to get it tested to see if it contains any real tuna. And I would be happy to report that Subway's tuna is real tuna. Okay? Don't believe the lawsuit. And you know what was so foul? Is that they went to social media to really push that rumor. And I'm gonna be honest. It made me not want to eat the tuna from Subway, even though it's my favorite. When they said it was fake tuna, I'm like, how is that even possible? But you know what? Food again, what I would say is it's kind of scary that they can make tuna that's not real tuna. Like that's scary. So yes, y'all, we talked about tuna. We talked about tuna. So hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below if you're watching me on the replay. And if you're watching me live, go ahead and drop something in the comment section. Let me know what you ate today. So I have another video on how tuna. No, wait, hold on, let me look. Okay, I know. But we are going to talk about sardines. I'm not. Look, I'm going to tell y'all food game. I will do tuna. I would do canned chicken. I would do canned salmon. But y'all know how I feel about eyeballs, head. So I myself, I think I've only had sardines like once in my lifetime before. But I know that they are really popular and a lot of people like them. So we're going to get into it and we're going to talk about sardines. Let me get this set up for us. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, this next video is kind of long, so I don't know if we're gonna watch the whole video, but this is talking about Pacific sardines or sardines from the Pacific. Oh, look at that. It's the ocean, y'all. So, okay, let's get into this video and let's see what they got to say. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and share this with your friends. And I want to thank all the foodie gang that has shared my content. I just figured out how to check my notifications and see who mentioned me. And I'm happy to say a lot of a lot of the foodie gang has been sharing my content. And I just want to let y'all know I appreciate that so much.
Known for their significant nutritional benefits, these sardines are priced between $25 to $35 per kilogram in the U.S. What factors contribute to their notable price? Join us in this video as we explore why Pacific sardines are so expensive. Modern fishing processing. Pacific sardines eat tiny plant and animal organisms in the water, known as phytoplankton and zooplankton. Despite their small size, sardines use their large eyes and excellent vision to efficiently gather and consume these organisms. This tactic is in stark contrast to that used by very large-bodied filter feeders such as whale sharks and basking sharks, which feed blindly and rely on large amounts of water to find enough prey. Pacific sardines are valuable prey for a variety of pelagic animals, including seabirds, marine mammals, sharks, bony fishes, and even pelagic invertebrates. Individuals
So it looks like everybody eating sardines. It looks like everybody eating them. Let's skip forward a little bit. Yeah, y'all, I don't think I'm eating those, but I know sardines are really, really popular amongst a lot of people.
that convert it to fish meal or oil for agricultural and industrial purposes. This species is known to have natural variations in population size, which commonly occur in a cycle opposite to other anchovy species that share its range. When anchovy numbers increase, Pacific sardine numbers decrease, and vice versa. Although this species is largely overlooked, it is not in danger of extinction due to its large natural populations and rapid recovery ability. Pacific sardines are well known for their pronounced migration patterns, influenced by water temperature, food availability, and reproductive cycles. During the colder months, Pacific sardines migrate southward to warmer waters off Baja California and Southern California. In the summer, as the water warms, they travel northward along the coast, reaching as far as British Columbia and even Alaska.
Oh, they said Alaska, but look at how small those are. There is no way that you picking out the bones. And look, it's like they're so tiny, but when they travel, it looks like a cloud because there's so many of them and so tiny.
Search of food and suitable spawning grounds. Spawning occurs in warmer waters. Sardines spawn multiple times throughout the year, mainly from March to July, with peaks in the spring and early summer. For spawning, sardines prefer water temperatures between 14 and 16 degrees Celsius. They primarily feed on plankton, which are abundant in nutrient-rich upwelling zones. Upwelling areas along the California coast and the Pacific Northwest provide rich feeding grounds, influencing their northward migration during the summer. Environmental events such as El Niño and La Niña have a profound impact on sardine migration patterns. During El Niño, a complex weather pattern resulting from variations in ocean temperatures in the equatorial Pacific, sardines can be found further north and offshore due to the warmer ocean temperatures that expand their suitable habitat range. Conversely,
So, Angela said, yep, I love sardines with mustard and crackers. You know, one thing I would say is that there are a lot of people who like canned seafood, and it is really, really popular, believe it or not. Canned seafood is really, really popular, and I've heard of many different combinations. It seems like everybody has their own. It's a nice little snack. I just could never really get into it when I see eyes. But I like the tuna, I like the canned salmon, and so, there's certain ones I do. And now them little fishies, I don't know about those.
how does technology aid in sustainable fishing? Stay tuned as we delve into the sustainable fishing practices essential for the preservation of Pacific sardines. Global fish stocks are in jeopardy today due to problems such as overfishing. According to estimates, around 70% of fisheries worldwide have been overexploited or have already collapsed. Ocean ecosystems play a vital role in global ecological health, including the production of oxygen by ocean phytoplankton and serving as a food source for many.
Look at all those sardines. They're so tiny and there's so many. Okay, we're gonna skip forward a little bit. We want to get to the good part. We want to get to the good part, foodie.
Adaptive management is another key sustainable practice. It means regularly updating fishing strategies to reflect the latest scientific research and environmental changes. This flexibility allows for prompt responses to changes in sardine population.
Did y'all see him? He was scooping the sardines out with a shovel. Ouch. Let me see if I can go back to it. He was out there with a shovel.
Regularly updating fishing strategies to reflect the latest scientific research.
Look at them. They got shovels. How, that is a whole lot of sardines. And they out there with shovels. Man, that is a lot of sardines right there. Ooh, that looks weird what he got going on.
Frequencies is employed to make cleaner, more precise cuts, thus maintaining the integrity of the fillet. Manual filleting is performed by skilled workers who use knives to precisely remove bones and unwanted parts, especially in smaller operations or for premium products. This method allows for greater control over the quality of each fillet. After filleting, the sardines are blanched in hot water or steamed to kill bacteria and inactivate enzymes, which helps preserve the fish's texture and flavor. Blanching also softens the skin, making it more suitable for canning. Next, the fillets are canned with oil.
Okay, now we're gonna get into the good part and to how they actually can the sardines. And let me tell y'all, food gang, God, I don't know, that don't look that right to me. But sardines and canned seafood are really popular, which is why I wanted to show you guys how canned seafood is made today.
Oil or sauce, and the cans are sealed. They're then sterilized at high temperatures and pressures to kill any bacteria, ensuring the sardines are safe to eat and have a long shelf life. Following filleting and blanching, the sardines are packed into cans. These cans are then sealed and lined up for the sterilization process, which is critical to ensure they are safe for consumption and have a long shelf life. These measures are crucial to maintaining the integrity and quality of the sardines. Each can is labeled with information about the ingredients, nutritional value, and expiration dates. In line with sustainability trends, companies are adopting packaging technologies that use recyclable materials and minimize packaging waste.
Okay, there you have it, foodie gang. It's kind of similar to the first video or the last video that we watched, where we talked about tuna. What was similar was the canning process. When you can, you have to put it into the can. Um, and then they put it into that big steamer and they get it really, really hot. And then they have to put it into cold water immediately to cool the tin down. So it's pretty much a similar process for that is the canning process. You heat it up and then you have to cool it down. And the reason why they do that is to make sure that they protect against harmful bacteria, I believe is what he said. So I also have another video about sardines. So I'm going to play that for you and we're going to get into it.
Today we're going to learn how this small fish got such a big cult following.
Hola from Portugal. We are in Matosinhos, a town nearby Porto. We are at Conservas Pinhais.
After the sardines arrive at the factory, they are placed on a marble table and the head and the bowel of the fish are cut off by hand. Then they are brined for about half an hour. All the ingredients are cut during the day and added by hand. Each can of spiced sardines has 1 pinch of black pepper, carrot, laurel, piri-piri, clove and cucumber. The fish are canned in tin plate tins, then washed.
So the woman said in the beginning that they're in Portugal. Now, you know, if they was in the US, they would have a machine to do everything. You would see you would not see the factories only hire who they need. Now in this one, they're doing everything by hand, the slicing, the cutting, they're doing it all by hand.
And sterilized. Tins are stored for at least 3 to 6 months. Whenever a customer submits an order, the cans are wrapped by hand.
Wow. That's okay, so they hold them for 3 to 6 months, and then when they order, they're wrapped by hand. Let's go watch this one more time, see if we missed anything.
Today we're going to learn how this small fish got such a big cult following.
Hola from Portugal. We are in Matosinhos, a town nearby Porto. We are at Conservas Pinhais.
After the sardines arrive at the factory, they are placed on a marble table and the head and the bowel of the fish are cut off by hand. Then they are brined for about half an hour. All the ingredients are cut during the day and handed by hand. Each can of spiced sardines has 1 pinch of black pepper, carrot, laurel, piri-piri, clove and cucumber. The fish are canned in tinplate tins, then washed and sterilized. Tins are stored for at least 3 to 6 months. Whenever a customer submits an order, the cans are wrapped by hand.
Okay, Angela. Well, thank you so much, Angela, because I don't eat sardines, so you're like our sardine expert. So, Angela stated that those are more expensive sardines but better flavor. Now that it kind of makes sense why she said they're wrapped right before they're ordered. Or when an order comes in, that's when we send out the sardines, allegedly. So that makes sense. These are the more expensive ones. You know, when you go into the store, they got 20 boxes of cereal, right? And there's some cereal that's super expensive, good quality. And then there's the great value cereal that you can get for on a budget. So these sardines would be the good kind. That makes a lot of sense. And also I want to say this, Foodie Gang. I'm going to show you guys someone who is shopping in the store for canned seafood, and she's shopping in Trader Joe's. But I'm going to show you guys that video to show you how many different varieties there are of canned seafood. There's so many different varieties. It's a really popular treat. A lot of people like to eat it as a snack.
And cucumber. The fish are canned in tinplate tins, then washed and sterilized. Tins are stored for at least 3 to 6 months. Whenever a customer submits an order, the cans are wrapped by hand.
Okay, so Angela said these are the more expensive sardines. These is the good ones. Okay. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And the next video that I want to show you guys, Food Gang, like I said, it's going to be the woman in the store to show you how many different varieties of canned seafood there is. I've even heard that I don't have y'all ever had this before? I heard when I was looking all this up that there's canned crab. I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if I would buy canned crab. I don't know. So we're gonna take that one out there. Angela said yes. Yes, you have had crab or canned crab before. I didn't know they have. I know they have the little jar that you can buy in the fridge of like the fresh crab, but I didn't know that they had canned crab. So this next video is going to be her in the store. Angela said they have lump crab in the can. Wow. See, Foodie Gang, there are, like I was telling you guys, there are so many different varieties of canned seafood that I never even realized that they had crab in a can. I've seen it in the fridge before. I've seen that, but I've never seen it in a can, or I guess I never have looked. I They have a lot of stuff they be trying to can everything.
Smash if you use it in your cooking, pretty salty straight up though. Smoked oysters, partial smash, Icone blows these out of the water. Unsalted sardines in spring water, hard pass. Smoked sardines in olive oil, smash, incredible price, check out my blind tasting video on this. Smoked trout, smash, 10 out of 10, one of my favorites, highly recommend for everyone new to fish in cans. This entire section of fish packed in water is a pass for me, but the elephant in olive oil gets a partial smash. This is the now discontinued Trader Joe's boneless skinless mackerel fillets in sunflower oil. I really liked this in the past. With the price of $3, it got the job done. This mackerel has a pretty firm texture with big flakes, a little bit of that minerally or metallic aftertaste, but definitely milder and less fishy overall compared to tuna varieties. I'm serving it here with some everything crackers from Firehook, cream cheese, and dill. Honestly, this wasn't my favorite pairing since the mackerel is pretty mild. This would have been better with the Trader Joe's smoked trout or smoked salmon, which I forgot to review, but the smoked salmon gets a smash too. I would say it's solid and the price point was really good, but if you didn't get it, I don't think it's worthy of FOMO, so final rating is below.
Hey, you know who she looks like? I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this content creator. She's a food content creator, and her name is Emmy Made. She has some great videos, and in the future, I'm probably gonna review one of her videos on 907 Good Eats. Angela said that lump crab can be used for crab cakes. Remember, I was telling y'all about my auntie who made the salmon cakes using canned salmon and it was delicious? But that is a good point, Angela, and I do want to make some crab cakes from scratch. And so that's a smart idea. I should get some canned salmon and some canned crab and make that for y'all, foodie gang, and make a video, share the recipe with y'all. You know, this season two. So we talking about seafood, we talking about smoothies, and we are talking about fast food, of course. We got the interviews going on. It's been a great season too. So make sure you go check out my other videos. Wow, I didn't know they had lump crab in a can. That is crazy. Let's watch this video one more time and let's see if we missed anything.
Welcome back to Tin Fish Talk. Let's go to Trader Joe's. Here's a speed review of all the tin seafood at Trader Joe's. The smoked mussels, smash. Get a bag of potato chips while you're here and you will be in business. The anchovies, smash if you use it in your cooking. Pretty salty straight up though. Smoked oysters, partial smash. Ikone blows these out of the water. Unsalted sardines in spring water, hard pass. Smoked sardines in olive oil, smash. Incredible price. Check out my blind tasting video on this. Smoked trout, smash. 10 out of 10, one of my favorites. Highly recommend for everyone new to fish in cans. This entire section of fish packed in water is a pass for me, but the elephant in olive oil gets a partial smash. This is the now discontinued Trader Joe's boneless skinless mackerel fillets in sunflower oil. I really liked this in the past. With the price of $3, it got the job done. This mackerel has a pretty firm texture with big flakes, a little bit of that minerally or metallic aftertaste, but definitely milder and less fishy overall compared to tuna varieties. I'm serving it here with some everything crackers from Firehook, cream cheese, and dill. Honestly, this wasn't my favorite pairing since the mackerel is pretty mild. This would have been better with the Trader Joe's smoked trout or smoked salmon, which I forgot to review, but the smoked salmon gets a smash too. I would say it's solid and the price point was really good, but if you didn't get it, I don't think it's worthy of FOMO, so final rating is below.
All right, and it looks like I'm having some internet issues. So if the screen starts glitching, just know that YouTube don't want y'all to get this information. They want to keep us in the dark. But yeah, it's like I'm having some, I don't know what's, I'm telling y'all, food gang. As soon as you hit that live button, everything started going wrong. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm not having issues. Maybe I am. It's a I can only tell y'all what I'm looking at. Okay. So she went to the grocery store. She's showing us all the different varieties within Trader Joe's in they call it tin fish, canned seafood, whatever you want to call it. She's showing us how many different varieties they have, and there is a lot. You can get mussels, oysters, salmon, tuna, and so many other varieties of fish or seafood. So they have a lot, y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and Okay, I have a couple of recipes that I want to show you guys because we always are gotta talk about the food. So let me get the recipes pulled up and let's
I put it in airplane mode, whew, and there you have.
okay, my bad. I gotta go back to the beginning.
The best salmon melt in 19 seconds. 2 cans of wild salmon drained, dump in a bowl, 1/4 cup of mayo, dice half a shallot, 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley, 1 tablespoon of stone ground Dijon mustard, a pinch of salt and pepper, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Mix, toast your bread, medium heat, slice your tomatoes, add your cheese, lay it down about 2 minutes on each side, put it in airplane mode, whew, and there you have.
Now let me tell y'all this, Foodie Gang. As a food content creator, when we make these videos, it seems like the sandwich was done so fast, there's no dishes, everything goes effortlessly. These videos can take anywhere from 30 minutes to actually make or up to an hour. And we edit it down into minutes or a minute. And so, when you see these videos, leave a comment down below. At least hit the like button because it takes a lot of work to make these videos. But if you're like someone like Chef Big Bank, we like cooking, so we're having fun at the same time. But when you see these videos, they do take a long time to make. And let me tell y'all, the kitchen will be toe up. There will be dishes everywhere. Angela said those canned smoked oysters are good with crackers or crostini. We have them every New Year's with other handheld snacks. And Angela, you bring up a good point because I used to have a friend who would eat smoked oysters, hot sauce, and Ritz crackers. And let me tell y'all, she would be acting like it was so good. She was like, "Do you want some?" I said, "No." I don't like oysters or mussels anyway. They're just a little bit too slimy for me. But when you open that tin when she opened the tin, the smell, I didn't like it. Now, I now that I'm at where I'm at and I got 907 good eats, I would try it. The oysters, hot sauce, and Ritz crackers. I I don't know who made this up, but when I saw this video today on TikTok, I said I gotta show this to the food gang. And it also goes into what Angela was saying about a quick little snack with the crackers or the crostini. Now, Angela, let me ask you this. When you would eat the oysters and crackers, did you put hot sauce on them as well? And so what he made here looks delicious. This is a great idea to make a sandwich out of it. Angela said the smoked oysters are fully cooked. I wasn't worried about it not being cooked. I didn't like the smell. Do they smell when you open them? Or maybe I was tripping. I don't know, but when she peeled back that little tin, I said, they're just too slimy for me. But I would try one just to say I did it. She was getting down on it, Fuji Gang.
Snacking.
Okay, so here we go. We got the hardwood smoked oysters, Angela. Do you eat this kind? Do you eat that kind? The bumblebee hardwood smoked oysters. Angela said, no hot sauce. I like the smoked flavor, a slight smell. Yeah, when she just peeled that little lid back, it didn't smell good to me. They look kind of weird. But see, Angela, I don't like oysters anyway, because it's like slimy and just ugh. Make me just want to shake thinking about it. But I would try one. And even though I do not like oysters or fish with eyes on them, I realize that there is a whole world of people who like what I don't like. And that's why I still report on these foods, even if I don't eat them per se myself. I will always talk about it, and everybody eats differently. And that's a great thing about the foodie gang and also about the Facebook group. Over 1,000 foodies from all over the world on Facebook. Join the group and share your food with us. Angela said, yes, I love that brand. You know, one thing I noticed, we are loyal to our brands, and it really makes a difference when you get a different brand and it don't taste right. You will swear up and down that it's the fault of them not having your favorite brand. We are really brand loyal. But she's gonna make the snack I was telling y'all about, the smoked oysters, the crackers with hot sauce. So let's get into it.
Snacking! Love me some smoked oysters with Ritz crackers. I'm gonna use Tabasco sauce. I'm gonna eat right out the can. It won't be long. Delicious, guys. Ooh, look. Yum. I always keep these in my pantry so I can have a little snack. I was gonna make some tuna, but I said, nah, tuna takes too long. I said, oh my God, yes, I could do oysters.
Look, Angela, these things have never looked that good. But I don't like oysters, but I have had fresh oysters, I've had mussels, I've had clams. When I was in culinary school, we had to make all these things, and I have tried all these things. And so, even though I don't like them myself, I know how to cook them. And I've tried them all before. And we would have we made like an oyster Rockefeller where we like slurp the oyster, um, yeah, I think it's called, well, I think it's oyster Rockefeller, where we had the shell on the oyster and then you put the little toppings on it, and we had to slurp it from the shell. I ate it, but it was just like, this don't taste right. I think it's the texture for me. So here's a little snack right here. These things look kind of weird to me. Oh, so foodie gang. I was before I got here, I was looking up how oysters were grown, and we gonna have to talk about that because it was kind of crazy. It was kind of cray cray. I'm gonna have to we gotta talk about that one day. How oysters are grown and how do they produce pearls? That's a whole topic right there. Angela said, I don't like raw seafood at all. One thing I will say about food gang, is that we all have our preferences. And we have like hard lines of like what we do and don't like. Yes, I've had them raw, I've had them cooked, and with raw seafood, with all seafood, you want to make sure that you clean properly. And if you are eating the oysters with the shell on them or out the shell, you want to make sure I think they used to like scrub the shells to get all the dirt out of them.
Snacking! Love me some smoked oysters with Ritz crackers. I'm gonna use Tabasco sauce. I'm gonna eat right out the can. It won't be long. Delicious, guys. Ooh, look. Yum. I always keep these in my pantry so I can have a little snack. I was gonna make some tuna, but I said, nah, tuna takes too long. I said, oh my God, yes, I could do oysters.
This is how people really be that eat oysters, Ritz crackers, and hot sauce. They do be this happy. She even got the chopsticks. She ain't clanging. And yes, I believe my friend would use Tabasco too. You know what? I'm gonna have to get this and try it, and I'm gonna see if Ava gonna eat one. She gonna be like, ugh. What's up, Dr. Frizzle? He said, hey, 907. It's 907 Goodies and Foodie Gang. What's up, Dr. Frizzle? Dr. Frizzle was up here yesterday when we talked about the ultimate hurricane food prep guide. We talked about how to prep. He was he experienced Hurricane Katrina, and he came up and he shared his story, and it was just a great live stream. We also had Trey Ferg in the building, the player coach. Make sure you go check out their YouTube channels. And I also did an interview with Dr. Frizzle from Dishwasher to YouTube. And let me tell y'all, Foodie Gang, Dr. Frizzle is hilarious. It is a great interview. Make sure y'all go check it out. It is on 907 Goodies as well. Now, Dr. Frizzle, I know that you don't do shrimp, and it sounds like you kind of don't do seafood either. But do you know anyone who eats this? I'm gonna play this video again for you. Do you know anyone that eats oysters, Ritz crackers, and hot sauce?
Snacking. Love me some smoked oysters with Ritz crackers. I'm gonna use Tabasco sauce. I'm gonna eat right out the can. It won't be long. Delicious, guys. Ooh, look. Yum. I always keep these in my pantry so I can have a little snack. I was gonna make some tuna, but I said, nah, tuna takes too long. I said, oh my God, yes, I could do oysters.
She can have them. She can have them. And Angela, you can have them too. But Dr. Frizzle said, not at the moment. Yes, he said he don't know nobody that eats this. But this is a popular little snack. Hot sauce, crackers, and oysters. Angela just does the oysters on a crostini or a cracker. Look, Dr. Frizzle said, laugh out loud. That looks nasty. I got one of those faces that like you can tell how I'm feeling. So when I was watching that video, I was trying not to frown too much. But those things, I don't know what those look like. What is this? Yeah, I don't know, man. But yes, y'all, we gotta talk about how these oysters are grown. It was crazy. It was a crazy video. We gotta talk about that one day and how they make pearls. But this is like 50 oysters up in here, or 25 or something like that. But them things look weird. They're like little roaches or little rats. But she is so happy to be eating this. Okay. Now this sandwich,
Salmon
I
melt in
eat this.
19 seconds. 2 cans of wild salmon drained. Dump in a bowl. 1/4 cup of mayo. Dice half a shallot. 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley. 1 tablespoon of stone ground Dijon mustard. A pinch of salt and pepper. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Mix. Toast your bread. Medium heat. Slice your tomatoes. Add your cheese. Lay it down about 2 minutes on each side. Put it in airplane mode. Whew, and there you have.
See, I would eat that. And so, it's all preference based. If you eat oysters, there's nothing wrong with them. But Angela brought up a good point. She said, in regards to the oysters, yep, you either love them or hate them. They are very meaty and not chewy at all. I agree with that. It's like when I was talking about earlier with food, we have hard lines. If we like something, we like it. We don't like it, we don't like it. As far as the oysters goes, that looks like an acquired taste. And oh, you know what? I noticed that they started locking up some of like the canned food products, like the seafood and stuff, it started locking it up. I saw the spam, y'all. We gotta talk about spam one day. I saw the spam at the store was all locked up. I said, dang. But y'all, you know what? With inflation and with the way things are going, we're gonna be seeing a lot of food theft. Let's just be real here. But Angela, in regards to what you're saying about them not being chewy, I will say I do feel like fresh oysters are chewy. They're very chewy. I don't know, man. I just but I would do the tuna, the salmon. I'll do that. I don't got no problem with that. And that's this sandwich that he made looks really good. I want to make this. Yes, Booty Gang, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this video with your friends. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, I have one more video. It's going to be a good video. It's going to show us how to cook. Let me go back and look and make sure I have it right. I believe it's tuna. Yes, it's showing us canned seafood. So when we after the commercial, when we come back, we will get into that video and we will see what they is talking about. Hey, foodie gang, welcome back, welcome back. You're tuned in to Kitchen Talk with Chef Big Bank. Season 2, episode 46. We are just chugging along. If you missed any episodes, be sure to go back and check them out so that you know exactly who we're talking about and what we are talking about. So, in today's episode, we're talking about how canned seafood is made. We talked about salmon, tuna, sardines, and oysters. So, and I also showed you guys a video from Trader Joe's where she was shopping for canned seafood. And I just want to let you guys know, Foodie Gang, there is a ton of varieties. We are not going to cover them all in this live stream, but we are going to touch on some really important ones, which is canned salmon, tuna, sardines, which is really popular, and oysters, which is also very, very popular. Now I'm going to show you guys a video where they are cooking canned seafood. So let me get that pulled up. Go ahead and hit the like button. I want to thank you for everybody that is here watching in the chat, in the clouds, and watching on the replay. So before we left off, we were talking about oysters and salmon. And there are a ton of great recipes on the internet and on TikTok. Let me get this pulled up really quick, Foodie Gang. Let me see. Yeah, so what did everyone eat for breakfast? And yes, it's gonna be a good one. So let me hit these buttons right here. And tomorrow, I am going to show you, Foodie Gang, how to bake salmon. That is going to be a mobile video live stream that I'm going to do through YouTube. I am not sure which time, but stay tuned. It may be a quick one. You may have to catch it on the replay, but do not worry. The replay is cool. Go ahead and leave a comment down below if you missed that live stream. I'm going to show you guys how to bake salmon. It is going to be a quick live as well, going through the YouTube studio, and I will be on my phone. So stay tuned for that. And then every Wednesday, I'm dropping pre-recorded content at 9 a.m. and I'm going live randomly. So make sure that you turn on the notification bell so that when I do go live, you get notified. So Pro Chef turns canned seafood into 4 meals for under $12. I will tell you, Foodie Gang, with the inflation that is going on, it is important that we are crunching the budget and we're trying to get it to as low as possible. So let me get into this video without further ado. And you can support this channel, keep the stove on at @ Chef Big Bank.
We don't want it to be like this, like when when you put something in a pan and it goes, that's not a good sound. Hey everyone, I'm Dan Giusti. In the past, I had the opportunity to work at a lot of really cool Michelin star restaurants around the world. These days, I spend most of my time trying to figure out how to make delicious and great food on a budget, which is what we'll be doing.
Okay, Foodie Gang, I already saw something I wanted to stop it. Do you guys know what a Michelin star means when the chef says, hey, I have a Michelin star? So, you know the Michelin car tires? Well, it's very weird, but they also have a chef award that they give to the best chef for that year. And I do have a video that's gonna like really explain about of what Michelin star means, because everyday home cooks may not know what a Michelin star means and how important it is to chefs. Now, y'all, look, I don't need no tire man to tell me I'm not a cook. I already know that. But the Michelin star is very important and is a very like prestigious award. You have to be a really, really good chef to even get a Michelin star. So Angela said, yes, those are 5-star chefs. Yes, y'all. She knows about what Michelin star means. So when you hear a chef say, I have a Michelin star, that means that they are a high caliber, a 5-star chef. Gordon Ramsay may have one. I don't know the list of chefs that have a Michelin star. I would have to look that up. But just when you hear someone say that, you know, that means that they are a 5-star chef. The Michelin Star Award probably has been around for a long time. But it's just fascinating that a tire company is associated with food in any way or shape or form. It's like, how did that happen? And I never heard of Michelin star until I went to culinary school. I was like, what is that? If you just are at home every day, you're not going to know what it is. So, yes, prestigious 5-star chefs. So, when you hear someone says like they have a Michelin star, you just know they, like, ooh, it's one of those things. They're like, I'm somebody now. I got a Michelin star. And people, they put in a lot of work to get those stars. And it's hard to get one.
Today I've been challenged to cook 4 super simple recipes using canned seafood. Yeah, that's it. There we go. We're gonna make a breakfast, a lunch, we're gonna be making a breakfast, a lunch, a snack, and a dinner, all for less than $3 a recipe. I wanted to do an episode about canned seafood because it's a really underutilized and underestimated ingredient. Some people might think that canned seafood isn't as good for you as fresh seafood, but in fact, it has the same nutritional content in most cases. Beyond that, it's shelf stable and it's also very cheap. I'm going to show you some different techniques using canned seafood that will lead to a variety of delicious meals.
Okay, foodie gang. So one of the videos I played for us in the beginning also stated that canned seafood or canned salmon, canned seafood is just as good for you as fresh seafood and it is cheaper. And so I think that maybe because it is so cheap, maybe that's one of the reasons why we look down upon it. And Angela Reddick said the James Beard chefs are really elite too. Yes, foodie gang. If you cook, you know what James Beard is. It is, I believe it's an award. I don't know the backstory, but when you hear Michelin star, James Beard Award, those are prestigious awards that are only given to the really good chefs. Like, if someone says that they have those two credentials, either or, they know how to cook. They know how to cook. And one thing I will say is I grew up watching Food Network and I've always liked the food competitions, Chopped. Chopped was my favorite show. And so that's why inside of my Facebook group, this is my second food contest that I'm doing. We're doing the grill off and the last day is today. Before that, we did pasta. And so we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep doing them. It's a virtual food contest. So go ahead and submit your entries of grilled food. The last day is today. And I also did a live stream going over the whole contest, talking all about it. But yes, canned seafood is just as good for you as the fresh stuff. So don't look down upon it.
So let's get this thing started with breakfast. I decided to make a frittata featuring canned salmon. So the reason we're using salmon in this preparation is because it goes really well with eggs. It goes really well with potatoes. In this case, it is wild salmon, which is really cool too because it's shelf stable and we can use it any time of the year. Whereas wild salmon that's fresh is only available during certain times of the year. It's already cooked as well, which makes it an even simpler preparation. We're gonna put a few Yukon Gold potatoes, some chopped chives, some chopped shallot, and a little bit of sour cream on top. We're gonna put a touch of oil in here. I have this on medium heat. We're gonna start with our Yukon Gold potatoes. We're keeping the peel on. The peel on a potato is really delicious. It's very nutritious. In this case, it will actually promote kind of the crisping of the potato, which is nice as well. These are raw potatoes. So we don't wanna crush them with heat because they will burn on the outside before they're cooked in the inside. We want a nice sizzle. So while this cooks, I'm gonna cut my shallot. So I'm just gonna cut them in thirds lengthwise. And then again, just like this. All right, so we got a little juice going on the potatoes right now, a little color coming. With the color is a little bit of steam, a little bit of heat coming off. So the hoods, the ventilation hoods have come on here, so it is a little loud. I'm gonna lower the heat a touch. We're gonna go ahead and add the shallots. We're just seasoning this with salt and pepper. If you just season at the very end, you're more likely to over-season something. Potatoes are nice and crispy. The heat's low, the shallots are starting to soften. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the eggs and the sour cream. We're just gonna crack the 4 eggs into a bowl. I'm gonna use a fork to whip them up. Before we go ahead and add the egg, we're gonna add the salmon. You'll notice that the flavor is very delicious and pretty mild, to be completely honest with you. This particular salmon is packed in water, but we don't want this water. We're gonna drain the water off. So using a fork, we're just gonna kind of break it off into here. We don't want this to sit in here that long now. This salmon is cooked. We just wanna get it spread, incorporated evenly before we add the egg. When we put the egg in, we don't want it to be super hot, but we want there to be some heat. Once the egg's in, we're gonna go ahead and season it again. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of chopped chives in here. We're gonna put dollops of sour cream directly on top. The sour cream on top is gonna kind of caramelize and dry in a little bit. And the inside of the sour cream is gonna kind of stay a little gooey. So when you're eating it, you get this pocket of creaminess. I'll put maybe one more. And that's it. We've preheated our broiler in the oven to 400 degrees. And we're gonna go ahead and put this in maybe 4 inches below the broiler. And we're gonna cook this probably towards 10 minutes just to get it brown on top and set underneath. Frittata's done. You can go ahead and cut this thing right in here and scoop it out, or you can slide the whole thing out and cut it. It's probably easier to do that.
So I don't know if you guys have ever had a frittata. It's like an egg pie, or like it's pretty much just like, yeah, it's pretty much like an egg pie or pizza, whatever whatever you want to call it. This looks really good, and this is all under $12 using canned seafood. I believe they use, I want to say salmon, but I'm not too sure. I don't really remember. But this looks really, really good. Yes, it was salmon. It was canned salmon. I knew what I was talking about, food gang. This looks really good, really delicious. I would give this dish probably an 8.5. And the reason I would give it an 8.5 is because it does look good, but it doesn't look like as good as that sandwich looked. Now that sandwich that he made with that canned salmon, that looked good.
What you'll notice is the sour cream is kind of like dried in on the outside, so it becomes a little more firm. But once you cut into it, you'll see that it's still pretty gooey. For what it's worth, we put 4 eggs in this. We put 1 can of salmon, a few potatoes. That's hearty.
That does look like a good breakfast item. So frittatas are normally made for breakfast because it's eggs, but you can make one for dinner or for lunch, but normally they are for breakfast. Angela said, yes, I love frittatas and are quick and easy meals. You know what? I haven't made a frittata in a minute, but one good thing about these videos that I'll be reviewing and going over is it makes me want to make such different things. And that's a great thing about my group on Facebook, Chef Big Bank, Foodie Gang fan page. It's over 1,000 foodies from all over the world. So you can get a lot of creativity, a lot of inspiration from just connecting with other foodies. And I've learned about so many different ingredients because sometimes in other parts of the world or other states, countries, there's different fruits and vegetables that we may never have heard of. And that's one great thing about the group on Facebook is that I've learned so much. I've always, creativity. I'll be like, I have chicken thighs. What should I make? And I just get so many different ideas, or I'll say, I'm making this. What size should I make? It's just a nice community of foodies. But yes, I would definitely eat this.
Everything combined, again, makes for a very hearty breakfast. When you eat this, you're going to be pretty full. It's very substantial. Again, less than $2 a serving. Pretty cool recipe. All right, let's give it a shot. Best part of cooking, tasting. It's delicious. I will say I got a big bite there of sour cream, which is nice. It's nice to have them spread out because sometimes you won't get it and sometimes you do it. My first bite there was a little bit of sour cream with a big chunk of salmon, a roasted potato, and egg. It was delicious. So there you have it. Salmon frittata featuring canned salmon. $7.55 for 4 servings, which comes out to $1.89 per serving. All right, now it's time to make lunch featuring canned sardines. And in this case, we're making this delicious salad with roasted vegetables, a light vinaigrette, and we're just gonna kind of add the sardines to add a savoriness. Sardines are super nutritious, they're super delicious, they're super savory. They're also fish that are very difficult, sometimes almost impossible to find fresh. So buying a can of sardines is actually a pretty cool way to take your cooking to another step. All of the canned seafood items are packed in something. You can find sardines packed in oil. You can find sardines packed in water. These are sardines packed in oil. They do cost a little more, but that oil becomes very savory and very flavorful. So we're not going to get rid of it. We're actually going to use it to dress the vegetables, which we will roast and put on the salad. So between the actual pieces of sardine and the vegetables roasted in sardine oil, we're really going to get this nice savoriness throughout the salad without having to use more than 1 can for 4 portions. So we're going to get right into it here. We have our vegetables. We're going to cut the Roma tomatoes here into quarters. So we're going to cut our onion. I'm going to cut it into thirds lengthwise and then just once this way. This onion's pretty big, so we're going to stick with 1/2 onion here. We're taking 4 cloves of whole garlic. These have just been peeled. Nothing else has been done to them. Then we have chickpeas. This is 1 can of chickpeas. We did drain off the liquid from inside that can. That liquid is actually what the chickpeas.
All right, so now he's using sardines, and we did talk about sardines. I showed you guys how sardines were produced, and we went over the backstory on that. And we got Day One Adventures in the building. Thank you so much for dropping by. He said, I like sardines. Day One, I cannot do the head. I don't know. Sardines always look weird to me. I did have them one time in my life. But you know what? After I did this live stream, I'm gonna get some oysters, get sardines, and I'm gonna try them again, and I'm gonna see. Day One said, I missed the sardines part. Yes, it was in the beginning. But you guys, Day One Adventures has a really great YouTube channel. And what he does is he goes like all over the country and he does adventures. He'll go eat, or he'll go to a park, or he'll go to like a car show. Really great YouTube channel that you guys have got to check out. Recently he went to y'all ever saw that show Ninja Warriors, where they be having the little Ninja Warrior on TV, and it's like a little competition, but they made it into a park. And so I showed my daughter your video, and I thought it was so cool. But make sure y'all check out his YouTube channel. He has really great content. So we're going to get back into the video, and we're going to see what this guy is going to make. He made the salmon frittata for breakfast. Now he's making the sardines for the lunch.
Peas are cooked in. It's referred to as aquafaba, and aquafaba actually has stabilizing properties. We're going to use this liquid to make our dressing today. So it's time to finish off our vegetables here. We want to dress them. We're going to be using the oil from the sardine cans. These are like full, beautiful fillets. We're going to put some oregano in here. We're going to add a little salt. We add a little fresh cracked black pepper, and we're going to add just a touch of olive oil. What the oil does is it conducts the heat as to be able to roast those things as opposed to steaming them. We're just going to get a quick mix, and then we're going to go ahead, pour this out onto this tray. We want things to be kind of in an even layer. If they're piled on top of each other, they won't roast. Again, they will steam. So we'll go ahead and put this in the oven now. Probably going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 400 degrees, 425 degrees. All right, so vegetables are roasted. I should say vegetables and chickpeas are roasted. It smells delicious. We're going to add the sardines to the tray now, because they're already cooked. To be completely honest, it's gonna be very rare to go anywhere and find a fresh sardine that's gonna look this intact. A lot of them get really beat up in the shipping process. One thing about canned fish in particular, we're talking about canned seafood, but canned fish like a sardine or even an anchovy.
You know, that makes a lot of sense when he says they get beat up, because remember I showed y'all the sardine boat, and that guy was in there with a shovel digging the sardines out? He had a whole shovel digging out sardines. So I can see how they can get damaged in the process. I can definitely see. That man was in there with a shovel.
Is the bones are still in here. The bones dissolve pretty much, but you might taste a little bit of a bone. Nothing to be worried about. They just kind of break up in your mouth when you eat them. These are beautiful, and they're in huge chunks, and we're going to keep them in big chunks. And you might say to yourself, okay, this isn't a lot of sardines for a salad for 4 people for lunch. And these are pretty intense, okay? This salad in itself is very hearty. We have a lot of other ingredients going on here, and we're using the sardines to really accent the flavor of everything else. And once we finish spreading these out nice, we're going to put these back into the oven for about 5 minutes. Same hot oven. They'll cook a bit.
I always wondered when they do this and you can see the oven, is there like a camera inside of the oven? I always wondered. And like, you know, when they like open the fridge, I've done the fridge one. I've done that before, where you put your phone in the fridge and then you open the fridge and it looks like, you know, but how do they do it with the oven? Angela said the PBS channel had a Korean chef make a sandwich with sauteed sardines onions, and peppers, including Scotch bonnet peppers. Now that sounds good. Oh, and okay, so on Facebook, I'm a part of a lot of different groups, but I joined this Jamaican food group because I want to learn more about Jamaican cooking. And I have already learned so much about Jamaican food. I thought I knew without Jamaican food, all I know is jerk chicken. There's a whole lot more to Jamaican food. So I'm glad I joined that group on Facebook so I can learn more about Jamaican food. But okay, so when I had sardines, it was years ago. So I don't really remember how they taste. I'm gonna get some sardines, and when I do, I'm gonna make a video. Foodie gang. But yeah, I don't know how they put the camera in the oven. Like, how does it not melt? I don't know. But you know what? I've learned since I've been making videos, they got a lot of technology out here, and everything y'all see may not be as it appears in real life. So just be mindful of that when you're watching these videos. But hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can keep the stove on and support the show at Money Signs Chef Big Bank. Let's get back into the video. But I'm gonna say this. He doing a whole lot for a salad. He doing a whole lot. But if the salad is good, then it's all worth it.
With the other ingredients that we're going to put on the salad, and then we're ready to go. While that's happening, we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the salad ready. So we have some hearts of romaine. We're going to just take off the very tip, the very core. We're not going to use that. I'm going to take these leaves together and basically cut them in half lengthwise. So we have our roasted vegetables with the sardines on it. You can really smell it now. It's delicious, like makes you salivate. So we're ready to start the vinaigrette. And the reason we kind of had to wait for this to come out is because we're going to take the garlic cloves that were roasted as kind of the base to this dressing. So we have a little bit of Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard also aids not only in flavor, but in the emulsification of a dressing like this. We're going to add some red wine vinegar. You can use your vinegar of choice. I particularly like red wine vinegar. There are other vinegars that are a little more toned down. I like that acidity. We're going to be adding aquafaba to help the emulsification. So the aquafaba is the cooking liquid of the chickpeas. So they take on a lot of starch and in this case, help the emulsification. We're going to add some water to this as well. We're using a blender here instead of say whisking it because we have these garlic cloves. These garlic cloves need to be processed in some way. If you did not have a blender, you could take those garlic cloves, they're soft. You could smash them on a cutting board into a paste very easily with a knife, add them to this mixture, and ultimately make the same vinaigrette using a whisk. We're gonna go ahead and blend the base here. Once we form the base, we are gonna start to drizzle in the oil. In this case, we decided to use straight vegetable oil. All right, so the vinaigrette's blended. We're gonna go ahead and pour it out. Again, fresh cracked black pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this and then taste it. I'm happy with this. You taste the garlic, you taste the vinegar, you taste the mustard, and it's creamy. That's what we want. So we're ready to plate the salad. I'm going to go ahead and plate one big salad with all 4 portions together. I happen to have the biggest bowl ever made. You might have a bowl like this at home, probably not. But again, you don't need a bowl like this to do this. So romaine in. I put a little bit of dressing on first. You don't want to overdress salads. So I'm using a giant bowl and giant tongs. I'm going to put a bottom layer of lettuce in here. Once I get one layer of lettuce in, I'm going to start layering in some of the other ingredients. I have a few layers of stuff. I'm going to add more lettuce. It's nice that every bite you take, you taste something a little different. So trying to spread these things out as much as possible. I'm going to put a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper on top of this as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and give this a taste. To do that, I'm just going to take a few leaves and some of the garnish and put it in a small bowl. So I'm not just eating out of this gigantic bowl by myself. Try to get a few bites with lettuce, the sardines, some tomatoes. Eating the sardines and the roasted tomato at the same time with the vinaigrette is like this super savory blast. It's awesome. The chickpeas roasted with the sardine oil on them actually tastes like roasted chicken, even in texture. Not
Okay, I would not mind eating sardines in this way. But am I gonna open a can of sardines and start eating them right out the tin? I don't think so, food gang. But this salad does look tasty.
just in flavor. And that's sardine salad 4 servings for $10.50, coming to $2.62 a serving. All right, so we ate lunch. We're kind of hanging out. We have a few hours until dinner's ready. We're hungry, so we're going to make a snack now. What will we be making? Clams Casino.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about clams, Foodie Gang? I have had canned clams before. I believe where I used to work, we would make some type of dish with canned clams. I think it was like a pasta. I think it was like a pasta dish. But this looks really good what he's making, and let me slide it back a little bit. Okay, Clams Casino. Clams Casino. But let me know if you guys like canned clams in the comment section.
Kind of hanging out. We have a few hours until dinner's ready. We're hungry, so we're going to make a snack now. What will we be making? Clams Casino, or should I say a Clams Casino toast. Clams Casino is a great dish. Essentially,
so Angela said, I don't like the texture of clams. It is an acquired texture, and I feel like they're kind of like, I wouldn't say chewy in a sense. Um, I'm not like a lover of clams, but I've had them before, fresh and canned, and I'm not like every time I go to the store, I'm not putting them in my basket, but I will eat clams. I will eat clams. Oh, you know what I was okay. I now remember what it was. Duh, it was clam chowder. When we make clam chowder, you put in canned clams. I was like, I didn't know there was a dish, but clam chowder is really good and it's really easy to make from scratch. Yes, that's what it was. Clam chowder. I do like clam chowder. Clam chowder is one of my favorites.
it's clams, breadcrumbs, herbs, peppers, onions, and bacon put into the half shell of a clam and broiled. Great dish, but it can be a lot of work. This is a little riff on the dish. We're making it on a toast instead of actually on the half shell, and we're using the chopped clams instead. So overall, we get this really cool, kind of innovative way to eat a classic dish, and it happens to be that much easier and pretty cheap as well. So there are a lot of advantages of using canned clams. When you buy clams, fresh clams at the supermarket, they do come in the shell and they don't yield much. Oftentimes when you buy fresh clams at the supermarket, many of them are dead. You have to check to see if they're dead. If they are dead, you shouldn't cook them. So your yield goes down, but it's also a little bit of an extra step. Then if you're making a dish like Clams Casino, where you're going to serve a clam on the half shell with other things, you need to cook the clams. You need to let the clams cool. You need to open the clams. You need to remove the clam, the cooked clam itself, and then put it back in the shell. These clams have been cooked. In this case, they are chopped. So they are already processed and ready to go. They're sitting in clam juice. They tend to be extremely flavorful, and they're very cheap as well. So to get things going, we have some butter in a bowl here. We have a couple ounces of bacon. So this is 2 slices. We're going to go ahead and cut the bacon. We're going to go right into this bowl with butter. We're going to put some onions in there as well. So we have our onion cut. We're going to put it to the side. So I have a whole clove of garlic. It's just going to go in here. Super easy. Now this is actually going to go in the microwave. If I'm blinking a lot, it's because I can't.
All right, I just hit the wrong button. I just hit the wrong button, Foodie Gang. But hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will get that pulled back up. Y'all, you know, one thing about live streaming, I'm telling y'all, there is so many different buttons, and all you gotta do is hit the wrong one. So, I'm gonna get that video pulled back up for us. And while I do that, y'all go ahead and hit the like button. And so he was right in the middle of making Clams Casino on toast. Normally, Clams Casino is served on the half shell of the clam. But he is making all of his meals to be less than $12. Which is why he's using canned clams. There we go. Okay, got to pull back up. Let's get back into it.
With low quality or convenience. Well, it is convenient, but just because something's convenient does not make it bad. In this case, we're going to be able to cook the bacon, melt the butter as we need to, and actually even soften the garlic in the microwave very easily using the bowl that we're going to mix everything else in. We don't need to dirty a pot, and it works perfectly to do the job. So when you cook in the microwave, if you put something in there for 2 minutes, 3 minutes straight, I think this thing will explode. So what we do is we put it in for a minute, literally let it take a second, and put it in for another minute, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so the bacon's out now. The bacon's halfway cooked. There's a clove of garlic in here, which is now softened. I'm going to actually remove that clove of garlic now. Onions in. And I'm just going to mix them around to incorporate them into the butter. Now I have this garlic clove. I'm just going to kind of cut it up a little bit like this. Add this into our mixture. So we're going to go ahead and open these now. We need a can opener for this. Could be the hardest thing of the day here, opening up the can of clams. I will say that the clam juice that's particularly in these chopped clams is pretty intense. When we use sardines, we use the oil. The oil was delicious. Using canned salmon, the water that's in the canned salmon, maybe not so delicious. The liquid in these chopped clams, I think you could kind of go either way. It's not all the same from canned seafood to canned seafood. So I'm just going to drain these. These clams have been chopped already, so these can go right into our mixture here. This is a bunch of parsley. It's been washed. So I just put the whole bunch together like this.
So what he's pretty much saying, Foodie Gang, is he was saying the liquid in the clams, you can either use it or not use it because it does taste different versus the sardines where he used the oil in the can of the sardines for the salad. So clam juice can go either way. And Angela said, I like that. I only make easy, inexpensive meals now that I'm older. And Angela, I am a busy mom on the go. So I am always looking to make inexpensive, easy meals as well. And just because it's like I don't have a lot of time and we always want to save money where we can, if possible. And there's some time where you want to eat and you want to splurge, that's fine. And there's some meals that you want it to be inexpensive and easy. And that's why I'm playing this video for us today.
Instead of picking leaves and messing around, I cut the whole thing. Not only are parsley stems okay to use, they're actually delicious. And in a toast like this, we're going to have all these different textures on top of the bread. It's a very nice addition. When you cut kind of daintier leaves like basil, you don't want to chop them too much. They will oxidize and turn brown. We don't want that. And then I'm just going to turn these one way and just do it one more time. So basil goes right in, mix it around a bit, help it cool down. We're going to go ahead and add the cheese. We have the trusty microplane. Microplane, a great tool. It's essentially a cheese grater on a stick. It's not too much, a couple tablespoons worth of grated cheese. We want to taste the clam. There is a thing where you could put a lot of salt in here, and it might not be salty, but it starts to detract away from the flavor of the clam itself. So we're just going to put a touch of salt. This dish, I think, can demand a lot of black pepper. So now that this is all mixed, we're going to pop into the fridge for 2 minutes just so the butter cools down a little bit so it's more of a paste and makes it easy to slather on our baguette. Just took the mix out of the fridge. The butter is set up a bit more so it's cooled down. This is going to make it a lot easier to spread on our baguette. This is a half a baguette. We're going to cut it down the middle as even as possible, like that. So we have 2 even halves. Nice. So a tray with a rack. Why we want this is because the air will go underneath. If you don't have a rack, it's not the end of the world. Okay, you can put it directly on the tray. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and use a spoon for this. And essentially, we're going to try to evenly distribute the mix onto these 2 pieces of bread. I want it to go all the way to the edges because we're going to put this under the broiler, and any piece of bread that's exposed and not covered with the mix, it's going to be directly under that heat. It's going to really toast. Your bacon's only halfway cooked here. Your onions are not really cooked. Everything's going to kind of finish cooking in the broiler now. Broiler's set to 400 degrees. We do want to get it nice and crispy. All right. So we got our toast, our casino slabs. Got a little lemon. And just squeeze it. We just want to give it a nice little brightness with lemon juice. This would be like a portion size for a snack. I mean, it's a pretty good snack. I mean, if you're hungry, you could probably crush 2 of these slabs by yourself. There you have it. We have a great snack until we're ready for dinner. All right.
What do y'all think, Foodie Gang? Okay, so we saw him make the salmon frittata. the salad with the sardine salad, and then we have seen him make the casino clams casino on toast. So that's 3 meals and under $12. And I'm curious to see what he makes for his last meal. I I would try it. I would try it because it doesn't look bad. I'll have to just try it and see. Try it and see. But I'm curious to what he's gonna make for his last meal.
It's time to taste. Oh, you heard it. It's so good. You have this really nice toast, crispy outside, and then the inside is nice and soft and warm. And the flavor is crazy. I mean, you got bacon fat, you got butter, you got garlic, you have basil, you have clams. This is a winner. And there you have Clams Casino Toast. 4 servings for $6.79, coming to $1.70 a serving. We're not quite hungry yet because we crushed 2 of those Clam Casino slabs, but we need to make dinner. So we're gonna make a chowder. We're gonna utilize canned tuna. Call it what you wanna call it. Call it a soup, call it a chowder, call it pasta fagioli, whatever you wanna call it. I'm calling it a chowder, and that's what we're going with. And tuna, for what it's worth, in the family of canned seafood, is really the most accessible in terms of flavor. It has a nice, mild seafood flavor that will kind of permeate through the chowder, but it's not going to overpower it. You have a product here that's already ready to go, and it has a very distinct texture that makes it appropriate for certain things. So it is a very different product, and of course, again, it is much cheaper than its fresh counterpart. So we're going to go ahead and chop some onion. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in here, and then we're going to go ahead and add the onions. We have garlic cloves. We have 3. We're going to slice them thin. Salt will bring out some water from these things, and that will actually promote the sweating of these items because they'll steam more than they're going to caramelize. We don't want them to brown, so adding a little salt kind of promotes this. We have chili flakes. We're going to add a little spice to our chowder here. So once these onions go a little further, we're going to go ahead and add the tomatoes in their liquid. We're going to add the canned corn, then water. Slowly pour that in. We're going to go ahead now and add our chopped spinach. This is actually 1 box that you would get from the freezer section. So we're going to go ahead and put the lid on just to kind of get this going a bit faster. We want to bring it to a boil, or a simmer, I should say, a light simmer, so we can put our pasta in to cook the pasta. It's going to cook directly in the soup. All right, I can hear we got a boil going here, a little bit of a simmer. So I'm going to take the lid off. Got a good simmer going. We are using ditalini for this. When you're serving a soup that has this size piece of corn, this size piece of tomato, these size chunks of tuna, we want a pasta that's the same size. You're going to be eating this with a spoon. You don't want a piece of pasta that's really, really tiny or really, really large. So we're adding salt. We're going to add a little black pepper in here as well. Always tasting things. I think one thing that a lot of home cooks don't do is taste the food enough. You should be tasting it all the time. So we'll go ahead and give it a taste. Now we get some nice seasoning in here. We're going to leave it there. We'll season it at the end.
And I just want to say, Foodie Gang, that I agree with him 100%. You have got to taste your food when you are cooking. You have got to taste your food. Because if you did not taste your food, you did not know how it will taste. And okay, so the doorbell did just ring, so I had to step away for a second. And let me show you guys what just came. Okay, let me try to. So I got these business cards. You can't really see it because of my ring light. I got the 907 Goodies business cards, and it has, all my information, all my contact information, and I also have business cards for. So that's 907 Goodies, and then I have business cards for Ava's Playtime. And for Ava's Playtime, we got the. Let me see. Oh, you can kind of see it a little bit. Yeah, we got business cards for Ava's Playtime and for 907 Goodies. But he is making tuna chowder, and he is right. You have to taste your food. It is very important.
Just like 4 or 5 leaves of basil. No need to chop them. They're going to contribute to the flavor while the pasta cooks. All right, so we're going to go ahead and drain this tuna. Well, I'm going to open it up first carefully. We don't want to use this water. It's kind of like murky seafood water. You see the tuna's in like nice flakes, making sure these chunks are what we want. We're going to go ahead and chop the parsley, add our parsley. So go ahead and add the tuna. So we're going to add some more salt. We're going to add some pepper. And now we're going to mix it gently. We're trying to keep the tuna in large chunks. I've turned the pot off at this point. This tuna is cooked and it will warm through based on the residual heat. This thing is like screaming hot right now. All right, we're going to go ahead and serve it up. You're going to see that the liquid comes up basically flush with the garnish inside, and that's really what we're looking for. We're going to finish it with a touch of olive oil. And here we have a delicious, hearty,
I don't know, Foodie Gang. I'm really disappointed or sad that he didn't make clam chowder. I wish he would have made clam chowder. Now, this tuna chowder looks good, but it doesn't look as good as clam chowder does. So maybe I am biased. Maybe I am.
traditional tuna chowder. Try to get a little bit of everything. When you eat something like this, it's so savory, it's so satisfying in the sense that, you know, you have this tuna, you have these vegetables, it's hot. You taste a little bit of the heat from the chili, but it's a broth. It's broth based. And again, we use water for this. You know, there's no chicken stock, there's no beef broth, there's no dairy in this. So it's really clean tasting as well and very light and refreshing almost, as much as that might sound odd because it's hot, but it really is. Even when you look at it, you'd think that you had this kind of summer bounty in a pot, but everything came from the can or the freezer section. And it's crazy to think that if you serve this to someone right now, they would never know how you actually made this. And there you have the tuna chowder, 4 servings for $9.60, coming to $2.40 a serving. Most people don't usually associate canned seafood with delicious meals, but I think we very clearly proved today that there's a lot of ways that you can use them to not only make delicious meals at home, but meals that are easy and affordable as well. Today we made a breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner, all using canned.
Now, he did do that. He utilized seafood and made breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even a snack. So he did do a great job in completing the mission, which was to make quick and easy, inexpensive meals. And he did do a good job doing that. So he made the salmon frittata, the salad, the sardine salad, the clams casino on toast, and a tuna chowder. Now, if from all 4 of those dishes, I'm going with the salmon frittata hands down. Which one are you going with, Foodie Gang? Let me know. I'm going with the salmon frittata just because I really like salmon and I am a breakfast person, so I do like breakfast a lot. And I know I would eat for sure the salmon frittata. But yes, there you have it, Foodie Gang. We have talked all about canned seafood. We went over canned salmon, um, canned tuna, sardines, oysters. So we have just really covered our bases. The day before yesterday, we talked about how to prepare for a hurricane and what your pantry should be looking like and what type of supplies that you would need during a hurricane or a storm or any type of natural um disaster. So we talked about that yesterday, Foodie Gang. Tomorrow I am going to be showing you how to bake salmon. I will be going live out of the studio. And it'll be a quick live. You may miss it, you may not. Make sure that you have the notification bell turned on. So let me tell you how to do it. My daughter showed me this. So when you select the notification bell, after you subscribe, hit the bell, right? You want to go up to all. the bell will turn black. When that bell turns black, you will get all the notifications from that content creator. If that bell is not black, you do not get all of the notifications. You will get some, but not others. So if you're wondering why you always miss your favorite content creators, that is why. You got to hit all for the note on the notification bell to make sure that you're getting all of the notifications. Angela said, "Yep, the frittata is my pick." Honestly, after that frittata, he could have just went home because I already like was done. But I don't know why he didn't make clam chowder. But maybe because clam chowder costs too much because of the dairy, and it looks like he was trying to maybe save a lot of money. But I don't care. Clam chowder. And then when I hear chowder, I'm thinking like it's a milk-based soup. When I hear the word chowder, this looks more of like a minestrone, like a min. I don't know how they say it, but it's like a vegetable soup with noodles and stuff. This looks like a tuna minestrone soup, or you know what I'm saying. It just doesn't look like a chowder to me per se, but that frittata was looking good. And let me slide back to the frittata so y'all can see what I'm talking about because it was looking good. I think he showed it in the end. Let me find it. Let me find the frittata. Make sure I hit the like button. Okay, we're gonna just go way back. Okay, this was a salmon frittata. I don't know why it looks like that, but yes, that was okay. I gotta click this off.
89 per serving.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know why that weird thing was on there at first. Yes, this is the salmon frittata. This is the one that me and Angela are picking. We have decided and we ain't changing our mind. And this is what we're eating for breakfast. This right here looks good. This looks like something that I'm gonna make. Yes, Foodie Gang. Thank y'all all so much for tuning in. It's been a great live stream. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be showing y'all how to bake salmon. All right. All right. Let me stop the screen share. And I have stickers that are ordered for 97 goodies. I'll show you guys those tomorrow or the day after that. Okay, so every Wednesday at 9 a.m. I'm dropping pre-recorded content. So check me out Wednesdays 9 a.m. and then I'm going live randomly. So I explained to you guys how to turn on the bell to make sure that you're getting all of the notifications. So make sure that you do that. And all my information is down below. You can always support the channel and keep the stove on. Join my group on Facebook, Chefbigbank, Foodie Gang fan page. Follow me on all my social media platforms listed down below. Leave a comment on this video after the video after I'm done live streaming. If you guys can come back and comment on the video. And make sure that you shop the Foodie Gang store. The in the description of this video, there's a link to the Foodie Gang store. And you know what? I will post it again. And so in the Foodie Gang store, I have a mug, a hoodie, and a couple of t-shirts. So make sure that y'all go check out the Foodie Gang store and get your merch. And yes, I just posted the link for the Foodie Gang store in the comment section. And hit the like button, hit the like button. But I think that is it, and I have had a great time up here rocking out with the Foodie gang. And I will see y'all later on. Let me take this comment out first. And thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm gonna relax the rest of the day, and I'll see y'all around in these streets. Be safe. Have a good day. Eat great food, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Foodie gang, gang, gang.
Food gang, gang, gang.
Foodie gang, 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 gang. Foodie gang, 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 gang.
Foodie gang, gang, gang. This is Chef Big Bank. Thank you so much for watching at 907 Good Eats. Make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m. I'm out.